Welcome to the Insurance Voice of South Texas. I'm your host, Eric Cervantes, and today I have the privilege of having Jeff Sekiguchi with me from Texas Mutual. Jeff, tell everybody a little bit about what you do at Texas Mutual.
Yeah, so hey, Eric. So my name is Jeff Sekiguchi. I'm a senior agency specialist at Texas Mutual. So really, I'm a relationship manager between Texas Mutual and our agency partners. So a lot of my job is to drive new business, but it's also my job to act as a liaison between all of our different departments, just to make sure that everybody's on the right track. Really, my main goal in my position is to be the main point of contact when an agent has a question about a policy, an audit, or any other issue that might come up. I want to be first on their call list.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to give you some kudos because I work with you directly, and anytime I've needed anything and I reach out to you, you're Johnny on the spot. You're Jeff on the spot. So I appreciate you doing that. And, obviously Texas Mutual's always been a huge sponsor and supporter of the Independent Insurance Agents of San Antonio. And we couldn't do what we do without your company and your support and your support specifically because you're also on the board. So we appreciate that. And, with everything that's going on right now with COVID-19, all the buzzwords like, businesses having to pivot and change the way they do things. What did Texas Mutual do? What have you seen? How did you guys approach the pivoting with COVID-19?
Yeah, so obviously what we want to do is help keep Texas businesses safe, and the first part of that is keeping employees at Texas Mutual safe. So the first thing that we did was that as a company was make sure that all of our employees were able to work remotely. So we sent everybody home. Everybody had the tools in place. We were really lucky to already have that in place prior to COVID coming around. And so once we made sure everybody was at home, then we as the agency specialists kind of started to call around and reach out to our agents to get a pulse check on how things were going with agencies as well as the policyholders. We knew we would need to step in to help our partners navigate this challenge. And we knew that we also needed to give them resources to keep their workers safe and ultimately help them with everything going on. And so a couple of different examples that we did were first and foremost, we were able to suspend cancellations for 60 days and work directly with agencies and policyholders if anybody was having financial trouble. Another great thing that we did was we also gave our policyholders the option to adjust their annual payroll estimates midterm based on how they were affected. This really allowed them to keep their coverage in place while also adjusting their premium based on their expected exposures. Second, we created a really large collection of resources and made them available on our website. So by doing this, we were able to send 15 to 20 emails to policyholders. And so what we sent blogs on worker safety, we sent information on the CARES Act, and we also sent information sheets in both English and Spanish so that everybody had access to them. Third, we knew that a lot of the nonprofits that we work with on a regular basis in our community were really going to struggle through this. So we stepped in to help there too. Right out of the gate, we granted $2 million to nonprofit organizations focused on really basic needs. So think food banks, United Way. And that was really critical to them to keep up with their increased demand. And then also keep in mind, a lot of these nonprofits were suffering from huge losses of income just on canceled events and canceled fundraisers. So they really needed our support more than ever. And so, like I said, our donations went to United Ways, Meals on Wheels, and food banks across the state who are focusing on meeting the needs of our most vulnerable populations. And then finally, really the thing that I'm most proud that we were able to do was we were able to accelerate our yearly dividend payout. So generally we pay out our dividends in June, and we made the decision as a company to go ahead and pay those in April. So this year we paid $330 million in dividends to about 57,000 eligible policyholders, 2 months earlier than planned. And so what this did was it really was able to put a lot extra funds into the hands of Texas employers when they really needed it. I know that they were able to get PPP as well, but this was our way of really pumping that money back into the economy. And then we're also getting ready to pay out our early qualifier dividend to eligible newer policyholders in the fall, and so we know this is also going to really help put that money back into the community.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, man. All of those things that you're talking about are awesome, man. I mean, I know that we had some carriers that wouldn't do midterm exposure adjustments, and that wouldn't work with us on billing and wouldn't do all these things that you guys did. And so those things were huge. During April, May timeframe. Businesses were really scrambling, and for you guys to be able to put those things aside, have the dividend funds available early, man, all those things made a huge impact on the client base that's with Texas Mutual, and I'm sure that they appreciate it. I know that the agents appreciated it for sure. And speaking of that, you're right. I haven't seen you in person in a really long time, so I guess Texas Mutual is doing a pretty good job of keeping you guys in your homes. But with us not being able to do face-to-face meetings and luncheons and all these kind of things, what are you hearing from other agents and how they're shifting their models and services and how they're doing business?
Yeah, so you're right. It has been a long time since we've seen each other in person, but so everybody's been a little bit different. We are definitely continuing to hear more positive stories out of the agent community on people being able to get out and prospect for new clients, and also there have been some that have leaned on virtual meetings with new and existing clients as well. And so, as I mentioned earlier, almost all of Texas Mutual has been working remotely since March. So we're just, as an agency specialist, I've been continuing to hold virtual meetings, either with staff or one-on-ones, just over Zoom and GoToMeeting and all the other different platforms. So, I think it continues to be a really effective way to communicate. Obviously, I'm a face-to-face person, so I'd prefer to be sitting in an office, but I think that, this couldn't have come at a better time, if you will, with us having the technology in place to be able to continue to do our jobs. So yeah, it's been a learning experience, but I think there's definitely positive things coming out of it.
Well, how about the experience with the policyholders? What are you guys seeing with regards to policyholders and communications and resources and things like that?
So we've really been able to, we've really seen our policyholders have been able to get information, continue getting information from us. Our safety consultants have not been able to visit policyholders in person, but they are continuing to do visits virtually as well. And then we also have a great safety services resource center. So we've got a lot of FAQs on our webpage. And then also we have a dedicated call center where policyholders can call in, they can ask questions. The number there is 844-WORK-SAFE. You can find that on our website as well, or emails to safety@texasmutual.com. We'll get you connected with one of those specialists who can help policyholders as well. So really great resources. Again, those were things that we were already doing, but they've just become more and more relevant as we have had to shift to a more virtual setting. Right.
Well, 844-WORK-SAFE, right? That's the number?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah, I think that you're right. We are fortunate. Most of the agency friends that I have in San Antonio, everybody works through clouds, and so working remote is maybe not ideal for some agency owners, but it's definitely possible and practical to do it. There have been some efficiencies, I feel like, that have come from doing meetings this way, because you save on drive time and other things like that, and so it makes it a little bit easier. But I will tell you that Texas Mutual's done an outstanding job for both the policyholders and the agents in regards to managing everything with COVID-19. Kudos to you guys, and thank you for your support. Thank you, Texas Mutual, for your support of the association. We really do appreciate the partnership with you guys, and you guys keep being the trailblazers for the insurance carriers and showing them how to do things, because you're doing an outstanding job.
Thanks, Eric. Really appreciate that.
All right. Well, this is, I guess that'll be the end of today's podcast. So you guys listen to the Insurance Voice of South Texas. I'm Eric Cervantes. That was Jeff Sekaguchi at Texas Mutual. And we'll talk to you guys later.